Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm back with another Festive Friday design team layout. So this is for the first challenge of the year in 2020. This is for Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. So same deal as last year. We have to use 3 items out of the 10 that we were given. So I'm going to read that list off really quick. We needed to use rainbow watercolor, a planner, page, or calendar, inspirational sentiment, buttons, fabric, stitching. Did I say ribbon? Did I already say fabric? I don't know. Washi and die cuts. We had to use 3 of those 10 things, and I got 5 on here, but 2 of them are kind of iffy, so I'm still counting at least 3. So we'll go through that. This background is one of the mixed media backgrounds I made with Sarah Scrap's mixed media background class. This is one from her demo video. So this one you can actually see. It's basically a free class to introduce you to pretty much how her class actually is. So I'll link that in the description. Hers turned out way better. I didn't exactly have the products that I probably should have used for this. But yeah, it turned out pretty cool. It's different. And I wish I could have made mine like hers, but we're just going to work with this. So I am back with Auburn Lane. I have some scraps from the 6x8 paper pad, so I'm just doing a little bit of layering here. I have this one picture from my family reunion. So there are 4 generations in this picture. You have Bennett, his mom, which is my sister Becca, our mom, and then our grandma, so Bennett's great grandma. So definitely wanted to get this one scrapped, and then I'm tucked in there on the side of the page as the extra. But yeah, I'm just doing a few layers around the photo. I have this really this longer scrap of this really pretty pink floral, so I just cut it into a banner. I wanted to keep it long because I just think it's pretty. And I really liked how this pink and this green looked with the more, black and white background. And it's really hard to see. You can see it better in person, or if it shifts in the light. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but there is like a really soft pink pearlized watercolor wash over the top of this layout. So if you watch Sarah Scrap's demo video, she'll explain how to make this. But yeah, there's a couple layers of mixed media down, and one of them is a watercolory shimmery pink. So that's really why I wanted to pull the pink out a little more with these pattern papers. I do go back and add additional watercolor splatter. So watercolor will be one of the 10 items that I'm using for this page. So I figured using this background, I already used watercolor to create it, so that at least was one of them, but I do go back and add a little more. But I like the composition so far. I really like having this square photo with a couple layers and this long banner piece. So I'm just trying to build from there. Same with the other mixed media backgrounds I've made for Sarah's class. I really don't want to do a whole lot because I don't want to cover up the background. I'm really proud of the backgrounds that I've made so far for her class. So I really want to be able to still see it by the end of the layout. I do want to pull in ribbon because that's another one of the 10 items. And I have a whole little container of ribbon that Jennifer sent me for Christmas, along with a whole heap of other goodies that she sent me from her stash. So thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get the maroon florally ribbon on here because there are some maroon papers in this collection that I'm going to pull in. So I thought the maroon and the floral really went really well with this collection. So here I am. I'm going back with the light pink from my little watercolor pan and just doing splatter along that whole vertical piece. I figured I'm going to try and stretch this and continue the vertical look that I already created with the pink banner. So that's kind of what I'm going with. I set that aside to dry while I continued to work on layers. I really like this cut apart piece that says made with love, and I really think the gold is sweet. I like the green. I think green and pink always look really good together, so I wanted to get some green pulled in from this collection. There's a few cream papers with this coppery foil, so I thought that'd be a really nice layer to add, so I'm trying to look at a few scraps that I have of those papers to pull in. That's dry now, so I'm going to pull it back. I think I'm going to finally glue these pieces down because I think they were just sitting on top of each other. I'm not gutting this collection a whole lot, but I really like this soft pink floral, so I did gut that little piece that was going to be behind the picture. So I'll use that later. I'm going to get my layers down. I know that's going to stay in the upper left-hand corner. So I just want to build out from there. I decided this pattern paper with the text is in columns, kind of like a newspaper, so I thought I would just trim up one of the columns and make it a banner. So I'm going to jimmy rig those 2 columns into one long column so that can run along the left side of the pink banner. I just wanted that little shimmer of gold in that extra layer So that looks really nice once I get it down, but it takes me a minute. And I am inking everything. And I've been inking this collection in brown. I think brown looks really, really good with this collection. It's very warm. This collection does have some brown wood grains as well, so it looks really, really good. But considering my mixed media background was on black cardstock and there's already black introduced, I didn't want to ink in brown. So I just decided I would ink in black. And I'm not using I don't think I'm using any of the brown elements from the collection. Not that I couldn't anyways, but I figured I'd just go more down the black route because I'm already using this background. So yeah. And then I don't know if I already did it or not, but I did put some foam behind that green Made with Love banner. So I think that's what I just did. I wasn't even paying attention, but I'm going to go ahead and glue down this ribbon. I think this looks so cool. It's kind of like a pleather. Like, it has such a cool texture and it really adds a lot of interest to this page just by having that with the papery stuff, because everything's paper right now. I mean, there is the really cool like mixed media aspect with the paint. I think that adds a really cool twist to the products, having it sit on something like that instead of just a normal background. But this ribbon adds another really cool textured detail. So once I glued that down, I realized, yeah, I need to pull in some more maroon elements from the collection because that's the only thing maroon on the page. So there is a cute little cut apart with this wreath. So I really want to make sure to get that on there just for the sake of the color so that it's more balanced around the page. So I'm going to glue down the big layers and then I'll start tucking some things in. I thought about using this little sentiment. And I even did a little border punch so it looked cute when it was tucked out from that maroon piece. But the way it was branching out, it just looked weird to me. I don't know. So I took the text thing off, but for right now it's going to sit there. That just really made the design go wonky for me. It's just weird. So I did take off that little cream sentiment, whatever that is, over the maroon wreath. So what do I have so far? So I have my watercolor, I have my ribbon, and then the last thing I pulled in was die cuts. Die cuts were another thing in the list. So I do have the die cut ephemera pack for Auburn Lane. So I do pull in a few pieces from that. So I thought about using this frame too. I really wanted to branch out that way. I wanted to do this kind of inverted upside down L design, but it made it look really weird. So I kept it more on the vertical instead, but I knew I wanted a couple layers coming out of the side. I just didn't want it branching out that far. So I added this little scrap of this florally bit, and then I went back with that maroon piece. And I like how that looks. It branches out a little bit, adds a little bit more layers, but it doesn't make that really weird shape that everything else was making. So there's that. Just trimming up the ribbon a little bit because it was hanging off of the edge of the paper. I'm trying to remember what I do after this. We shall find out together. I'm still trying to add layers. I don't think I add any more layers up there. I do add some ephemera. But I don't know where I went. I went missing, you guys. Oh, okay, we jumped ahead. I don't know what happened. Deciding to officially glue down that green banner. I'm still wanting to build out and use some ephemera. There's some florally bits I thought looked really cute. I played with them a couple times, moved them around the page. I don't know why they looked weird to me, but I decided not to use them. I thought about tucking a doily in, and I didn't. Shocker, because I put doilies on everything. Yeah, I don't know. I just kept... I hemmed and hawed a lot on this page, and I think it's because this is the first layout I made after the holidays. So I did take a little break for, family and spending time with people. So it's amazing what 1 week away from your scrap room will do to you. And it took me a minute to kind of figure this page out. But in the end, I figured I needed a little bit more maroon just so it wasn't that one maroon piece and the ribbon. So there is this little ephemera piece that I cut into a banner that says, "I've got sunshine." I thought that was a really cute sentiment. And then I wanted to embellish a little bit. And same with the other pages I've done with Auburn Lane. Anything that's family related, even if we're not at the house. I've been putting a house on there. There's tons of houses in this collection. I don't want to not use them just because the pictures were in a house. But to me, a house is representative of your home and your family. So this is a family reunion. So I thought it was appropriate. So I took that little sticker on there. It's a puffy sticker too. I think it's so stinking cute. And then there is a frame. There's a couple frames in the ephemera piece, but I really like this one because it had maroon in it. I wanted maroon pulled in somewhere else. So I did back that in a scrap of the green. That's the same green that's matting the photo, so that also is pulled in somewhere else. But I'm going to create a tiny little cluster in the bottom right hand corner, just so some of these colors and textures are pulled across the page and a little bit more balanced. I thought it was definitely too plain how it was without anything else. So if I couldn't add anything to those layers, since it made it look wonky, I figured I would just start something somewhere else. So I did just back this frame. I used another puffy sticker to pull that pink into this corner. Just says gather, and then I do take a scrap of that foiled newsprint and I cut a little banner out of that to make a little cluster. So that way I think everything's kind of pulled across the page, and I think it made it just enough. Like, it is a pretty simple page, but I think adding that little cluster down there made it just interesting enough to where I felt like it was actually complete. And then I did go back in and add some little puffy sticker buttons next to the house in coordinating colors, so I thought those were really cute too. So buttons were on the list, but I'm not using actual buttons. They're puffy stickers of buttons. So I didn't know if that one counted or not. And then there are inspirational sentiments around the page in and amongst the ephemera and the pattern paper, but I mean, not anything that really stands out. So I didn't really count that one, but I was like, that could kind of be. So that's kind of like the buttons and the inspirational quotes. I didn't really know if that counted, but I got my watercolor, got my ribbon, got my die cuts. I will link everything for Festive Friday in the description if you guys want to play along. I am on their design team again this year, at least for the next 6 months, so be prepared for more layouts. Here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.